Hi students, welcome to PhD Jobs and Admission. This is Gauri. So in today's session, we are going to see Pondicherry University's PhD Entrance Tests, Research Methodology, Study Preparation. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to see Research Methodology PYQs of the year 2018 and 19 together in this session of PhD Entrance Test at Pondicherry University. So students, after viewing this session, your doubts regarding some concepts in research methodology will get clear, as well you will get an idea exactly what type of MCQs you will be getting asked in PhD entrance test at Pondicherry University, as well most of the PYQs are getting to asked repetitively in the PhD entrance test. That's why by solving such PYQs, by understanding such PYQs, all your doubts will get clear. You can practice more of an MCQs, and most of the PYQs you will get as it is in PhD entrance test for this year in Pondicherry University. Okay, so now let us begin. So students, as you know that there is PhD entrance test at Pondicherry University, under which they will ask you 50% MCQs on research methodology and 50% MCQs on concerned subject. Okay, so students, to qualify this PhD entrance test, all the students need to score 50 marks, 50% marks basically. So students, to qualify this PhD entrance test, we provide you research methodology complete course. By the use of this complete course, all the students can guaranteed qualify PhD entrance test by scoring more marks in research methodology, and it is possible. In this complete course, we provide you full syllabus video lectures, under which theories and MCQ lecture series are available. We provide you full syllabus notes and mock tests. We have basically 10 mock tests like this. Each mock test contains 40 MCQs. That's why overall you can solve 400 MCQs in the mock test. By solving the mock test, you can understand how much your preparations are done and how much your preparation need to be done. Okay. So students, we provide you more than 1500 MCQs revision PDF as well. By the use of this revision PDF, all the students can revise all the research methodology topics in a single PDF, and they will guaranteed get 80% MCQs from this PDF only out of 100% MCQs in the research methodology section of the PhD entrance test. And all of this study material will be available in both the languages, that is Hindi and English. So students, if you want to buy this complete course, then you can either download the Global Online app from the Play Store. For that, I have given the link in the description box of this video, or else you can contact me through these WhatsApp numbers. So students, the course fees are only 699, and in these low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the candidates. Okay, so students, this research methodology complete course is nothing but a research methodology revision package to all the students. From this, all the students can guaranteed score more marks in research methodology, and they can qualify the PhD entrance test. Okay, so now let us begin. The research is always exploring new knowledge, filling the gap between the knowledge, then verifying the old knowledge. So students, they have given you different characteristics of research, and you need to select the correct option for this. Exactly, research is what? Whether it explores new knowledge, whether it fills the gap between the knowledge, whether it verifies the old knowledge. So basically students, research is nothing but a systematic search for the solution of the specific problem. So basically the issue that we see or that we experience, so for that issue we want an answer. So to answer that issue, we need a research, and research is something which gives us the solution of our problems, and basically it explores the new knowledge. So by doing the research, we can improve our knowledge, we can find out a new knowledge. For example, we can make up a new theory, we can make up a new principle or laws. As well, research fills the gap between the knowledge. It is possible, basically whatever we have actually knowledge, so we can improve our knowledge. Okay, and this is nothing but what? We can fill the gap between our knowledge. As well, whatever old knowledge is there, we can verify it by using historical research. We can study on the past events. Okay, this is why, or this is how we verify the old knowledge. Okay, that's why your correct answer for this question should be 3, 1, 2 and 3, because research is always which explores new knowledge, it always which fills the gap between the knowledge. It is always which verifies the old knowledge. Okay. Given the following data, calculate the regression coefficient of x on y. Pearson's correlation coefficient is plus 0.8. Regression coefficient of y on x is 0.8. Choose the correct answer from the following. Now in this question they asked you to calculate the regression coefficient of x on y. Okay, so they actually asked you to calculate basically bxy. So regression coefficient of x on y is denoted by bxy, and they have given you the terms like Pearson's correlation coefficient, which is denoted by r, which is plus 0.8, and they have given you the value of regression coefficient of y on x, which is byx, and the value is 0.8. So students, now let us see the formula for bxy. What is it? Okay, so if you want to calculate the bxy, which is equal to r into sigma x upon sigma y, where r is Pearson's correlation coefficient, sigma x is standard deviation of variable x, sigma y is standard deviation of variable y, and bxy is nothing but what? Regression coefficient of x on y. They have also given you regression coefficient of y on x. So to calculate this, there is formula r into sigma y upon sigma x. Okay, as we have seen, r is correlation coefficient, sigma y is standard deviation of variable y, and sigma x is standard deviation of variable x. Okay, now we need to put up the value of byx in this equation, because they have given you the value of that only, right? So for that we need to rearrange this equation. So we need to do what? Byx upon r is equal to sigma y upon sigma x. Just reverse this or reciprocal this, then you will get what? R upon byx is equal to sigma x upon sigma y. Now put up this instead of sigma x upon sigma y, this equation. So you will get bxy is equal to r into what? R upon byx. Now we have all these values. The value of r is 0.8 into 0.8 upon byx, what? Again 0.8. So now this 0.8 gets cancelled. So your correct answer should be what? 0.8. So here your correct answer should be answer 2, that is 0.8. Okay, so don't confuse between the formulas of bxy and byx. So remember it. Okay. So students, we provide you Pondicherry University PhD Entrance Test paper to study material as well. By the use of this study material, all the students can guaranteed score more marks in paper 2. In this study material, we provide full syllabus notes and MCQs. In the MCQ section, we provide you most expected MCQs and PYQs. By the use of these most expected MCQs and PYQs, all the candidates can score more marks in paper 2 and they can qualify the PhD entrance test. Okay. So the subjects that I have shown on this screen, on all of these subjects we provide you paper to study material currently. If you want study material for any other subject, you can ask me in the comment box. Paper to study material fees are only 999, and in this low fees we provide guaranteed selection to all the candidates. Okay. So students, to join our courses you can contact me through these WhatsApp numbers and you can do the inquiry. So students, this paper to study material will be helpful to all the students to qualify the PhD entrance test. As well, it will be helpful to all the students to qualify the interview session, because in the interview session examiner will ask you the questions on concerned subject as well. Okay. If bxy is 0.25, byx is 0.64, correlation coefficient is. Now they have given you the values of bxy and byx and they want to calculate from you the correlation coefficient. Now we have seen in the previous question that bxy is what? Regression, okay, of x on y, and byx is what? Regression of y on x. So the formula for bxy is what? R into standard deviation of x upon standard deviation of y, and byx is what? R into standard deviation of y upon standard deviation of x. Now put up these values. Okay, so bxy is what? 0.25 and byx is what? 0.64, and they want to calculate from you the value of r, which is correlation coefficient. Okay, so as we have did in question 2, we need to first of all rearrange one of the equation. So let us rearrange this equation byx. So byx upon r is equal to sigma y upon sigma x. So now just reciprocal this. Okay, r upon byx is equal to sigma x upon sigma y. Okay, so just put up this sigma x upon sigma y here. So you will get what? 0.25 is equal to r into r upon byx, right? So now put up the values of these. Okay, so r square upon what? byx is what? 0.64. So r square is equal to 0.25 into 0.64. So it would be 0.16. So now you need to square root r square. So it would be what? 0.4. So your correct answer should be what? Option 4, that is 0.4. Okay, so this is also very easy question, but just you need to know the formulas for this. Okay, calculate coefficient of variation when mean is 58.375 and standard deviation is 10.36. Now they asked you to calculate the coefficient of variation. Okay, and they have given you the values of mean and the value of standard deviation. So now students, this coefficient of variation, okay, this is basically denoted by CV. Okay, and now this CV is nothing but a measure of relative variability. Okay, and whenever we want to calculate this CV, we need to ratio out the standard deviation, okay, to mean, and it is basically expressed in percentage. That's why the formula for CV is equal to standard deviation upon mean into 100% into 100%. So now put up the values of this. Standard deviation is 10.36 upon mean is 58.375 into 100%. So if you calculate all of these, then you will get the value 17.75%. And if you see all of these options, then your correct answer should be what? 4, that is 17.75%. So now in this case, you need to remember this formula of CV, that is coefficient of variation. Name the extension used in SPSS to save a data file. Now they have asked you what is the name of the extension that we use in SPSS to save a data file. Okay, so SPSS is a statistical package for social sciences. Okay, and this is one of the software that we use to do different research methodology methods like statistical techniques whenever we need to store the data. So all of these things we can do this in this software. Okay, so students, whenever we need to save a data file in a SPSS software, then we need a somehow extension. What is that extension? Whether it is .save, .sav, .docx, .sav.in. So students, basically this application allows the users to save their data in proprietary binary format, which is the native format for SPSS application, and the extension that we use for this is basically what? .sav. All of you know about, right, about extension. For example, whenever we save the data in a Microsoft Office, okay, then for saving that data, the extension that we use is docx, okay, or basically doc. But here in the SPSS application, whenever we need to save the data in the SPSS file format, then in this situation we use the extension .sav. Okay, identify from the following the test statistic for which the value of numerator should always be greater than that of denominator. So now they have given you different test statistics, and which is the test statistic, okay, the value of numerator should always be greater than that of denominator in their equation. So whether it is z value, f value, chi-square, t value. So now let us see one by one all of these test statistics. So now z value is the value that we get from the z test, okay. So whenever you need to calculate this z value, you subtract, okay, you subtract mean from data point and divide this result by standard deviation. So basically here you subtract mean from data point, so it means that you may get negative value, okay. That's why here numerator not always be greater than the denominator. Are you getting? That's why here this option is going to get now eliminated. Now what is f value? Now f value is the ratio of two variances, and variances are always non-negative. They are not negative, okay. That's why whenever you do the ratio of these two variances, then you will always get a positive value, and this f value basically gives you the variability between groups, okay. And that's why here always you get the more variability between the groups than within groups, and that's why here the numerator will be always greater than that of denominator, and that's why you will get the f value always greater, and f value should be always greater because there should be more variability between the groups than within the groups. That's why here your correct answer should be what? F value. Okay, now let us see what is chi-square. Now this is chi-square is nothing but a chi-square test, and this is a non-parametric test, and from this test we can measure the difference between observed values and the expected values. So whenever you need to calculate this chi-square value, you need to sum squared differences, okay. You need to sum squared differences between observed and expected frequencies divided by expected frequencies, okay, divided by what? Expected frequencies. Now here also you are going to sum out the squared differences between observed and expected frequencies basically, okay. So here though you are doing the sum, but not always you will get the denominator less than numerator, because whenever you get this value more, okay, then it means that there is the difference between observed and expected frequencies. But whenever you get the less values, then it means that there is no any that much amount of difference between expected and observed frequencies, but not always you get these values. Are you getting? That's why here there is not any kind of a rule that is, you know, numerator should always be greater than that denominator, because in some cases you will get numerator lesser than denominator. That's why this option gets eliminated. Now in t value, okay, now this t value you will get from students t distribution test, and here you need to subtract means of two groups, okay. You need to subtract means of two groups, okay, and basically you divide this, okay, by standard error of difference between means. Are you getting? So here also the similar case like we have seen in chi-square. Whenever you get this value more, then there is difference between the groups. When this value will get lesser, there won't be any difference between the groups, okay. That's why here your correct answer should be 2, that is f value, okay. which of the following is not a type of data structure? Now they have given you different options, and from these options, which is an option which is not a type of data structure? Whether it is network, whether it is emotional, whether it is relational, whether it is hierarchical. So students, there are three types of data structures, and the first one is network. So by this network type of data structure, you can represent the relationship between the entities. Okay, relationship between the entities. Second is relational. So within the relational type of data structure, you can represent the relationship between the entities by using table in the format of rows and columns. Okay, in the hierarchical type of data structure, you can represent the data in the format of trees. Okay, like tree diagram, flow chart, like that. So all of these are the type of data structure, but emotional is not any kind of a data structure. So this option is your correct answer. Okay, Karl Pearson correlation has which limitations? Now again this question they have asked you in 2018. We have seen this question in every lecture, okay, because they have repetitively asked this question. So students, whether it is -1, whether it is +1, whether it is plus or -1, whether it is none of the above, obviously the Karl Pearson correlation has limitations between -1 to +1. Okay, that's why here your correct answer should be what? Plus or -1. Okay, because the limitations are what? -1 and +1. So it should be plus or -1. Okay. One of the findings of Hawthorne experiments is that now they have given you different options, and from this option, which is the finding of Hawthorne experiment, incentives motivate people better. Strict adherence to rules improves performance. People need to belong to a social group. People perform better even in poor lighting. So students, Hawthorne experiments are the experiments under which researcher put up the participants in a somehow social settings, and because of those social settings, people behave something different, and researcher get something different but positive results. So these Hawthorne experiments are the experiments which conducted at Hawthorne Works of Western Electric Company in Chicago between 1924 to 1927. Okay, where it was led by George Elton Mayo, and the aim of the study was human behavior in an organizational setting. So they studied the human behavior, okay, in the organizational setting. Okay, so this was basically the aim of that study. So what they found? They found that workers' moral, then their productivity and sense of belonging were influenced by social factors, okay, like recognition, security and sense of belonging, rather than just physical working condition. So the finding of that experiment was what? So because of the social groups, okay, people have changed their behavior, okay, and because of their changed behavior, they basically worked more sensible, they worked more positively. That's why the finding of Hawthorne experiment is what? People need to belong to a social group. Okay, so this is your correct answer. People need to belong to a social community. When the skewness is 0, now when the skewness is 0, okay, mean is equal to median but not mode, mean is equal to mode but not median, mean is equal to median and mode, mean, median and mode will have different values. So students, skewness means what? Asymmetry, right? Asymmetry means there is no symmetrical distribution, and whenever skewness is 0, then it means that asymmetry is 0. Asymmetry is 0 means that there is symmetrical. Symmetrical means what? There is symmetrical distribution of the data. It means that you will get a bell curve. Here when you make two halves, then your right and left halves will be equal to each other, and whenever there is symmetry, then it means that all of your data values are positioned in a central position data, and that central position data is nothing but mean, median and mode. So here in this situation, the values of mean, median and mode all are equal to each other. That's why here your correct answer should be what? 3, that is mean is equal to median and mode. Okay. So students, thank you for watching this session. I hope all of you understood whatever I have discussed with you in this session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box.